Obedience are in all political parties. We have obedience in APC. We have a Labour Party obedience. The problem we are having here is the Labour Party obedience refusing to understand the fact that they don't own the obedient movement. The obedient movement does not belong to the Labour Party. The APGA obedience are 80% in number, and it will show in the November election. George Mogalu, his presence is nowhere to be found, and I don't want to waste my time supporting a candidate that is there for business. I don't think he's running, and I'm not going to waste my time. The obedient general, having gone around the country in the creeks and all the Boko Haram territories, campaigning for the 2023 elections, I'm well knowledge about who wants to win election. We do not have an aspirant in Anambra State. We don't have any of the aspirants who has what it takes to defeat Professor Chukwuma Soludo. And so therefore, we obedience, we are factual people. We don't waste time. We say it like it is. Don't forget, we thrive on the norms, what we see, transparency, integrity, and the good governance that we see, irrespective of party platform, gentlemen.
Well, explain what this means regarding your loyalty and support to Mr. Peter Obi, who apparently believes that George Mogalu is the man for the job. Doesn't that compromise your loyalty to the obedient movement or Peter Obi himself?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Peter Obi understands that the obedient general is one of those his supporters that is not an OES member. I come from a position of strength. Recall I met Peter Obi in 2022 when I organized his visit to the European Union, and I followed him henceforth from then till today. Peter Obi had never ever funded anything I did. It was my own funds and my supporters, and Peter Obi knows we are those that tell him the truth even when he's bitter. Example. Peter Obi supported Amambo in the Southern Senatorial election. What happened? He lost. Peter Obi supported the late House of Assembly member at the Onitsha House of Assembly election. She lost. Peter Obi is popular in the federal. Peter Obi is not popular in the state election. And we call obedience, we know these lapses. And that was why we insisted that you should allow obedience to dictate and call for assessment of who we support in Anambra. And the result has come for Professor Chukwuma Soludo, and I farewell congratulate him ahead of time. He will defeat all his opponents, and I'm sure that look, the new Nigeria of our dreams, we see it in anybody. If Peter Obi continues the way he's going, he needs to put his house in order so that he will be able to defeat President Ahmed Bola Tinubu in 2027. But if he's not able to do it, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will surely defeat him again if he doesn't do the right thing.
Okay. Just before I segue back to Honorable Ambassador Justine Kingland, I just want to get your understanding of how dicey the situation is. I mean, you are supporting a man who does not support your principle, because Governor Soludo has already expressed his intent to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, his party has adopted Bola Ahmed Tinubu as their presidential candidate come 2027. Don't you think that you've compromised yourself by supporting a man who clearly is not going to support your principle back in 2027?
Well, we are not having any 2027 agreements yet. We and Peter Obi have an unfinished business. Recall, Peter Obi never consulted the core Anambra obedience before choosing Mogalu. So our problem with this Peter Obi at this moment is local. Justin Kingland is not known in the obedient network in Anambra. He is just a noisemaker. If you recall, the obedience have an organogram. You know, those of us you've seen over the years. We don't need people to come now to come and sing hallelujah songs. The obedient movement in Anambra State is focused, and we are focused in achieving what are the goals of Obidient Network is. Being based on integrity and accountability and the good governance. The good governance, if it's found in anybody, the obedience will follow. It does not have a party flag.
You don't consider yourself a sellout, do you, Mr. Azumchine?
I can never be a sellout, having done what I did for the Obidient movement till date. I am still an obedient. I am the obedient general. I will say it like it is. I say it to everyone that wants to listen. I have cousins, I have nieces, I have relations. They all voted for ABGA, and they are obedient. So what are we talking about here? I don't like people being hypocritic.
Right. You've read the message or the statement released by the national coordinator of the Obidient movement, saying what you did was a charade and it is to be disregarded. You're not running the show when it comes to obedience in Anambra State. Your move has clearly caused quite the crisis, at least in Anambra State. Do you, in hindsight, wish you had gone about this differently?
I have unapologetic about my move because obedience stands for the truth at any time. 80% of the obedience in Anambra State are for Soludo, and it's a clear fact. If they want to lie to themselves, that's all up to them. The obedient general will follow the minds of the obedience, and that's why I'm the general.
What if from this position, from here on out, they no longer trust you to be a loyal member of the movement going forward? Is that something that you're willing to accept?
Well, it is up to them to decide. If they want to lose me, it's fine. They know what to do. If they believe I'm no longer a lawyer, they know what to do. I am a member of the highest body of the Council of Obedience, the Advisory Council. If they don't trust me, let them lose me. I will go to where I'm needed. I am not resigning in the Obedient movement. I will continue to be the man that will tell Peter Obi the truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Peter Obi should know by now, those who love him. I am not one of the stooges who go and line up and get money for fuel or for whatever. I use my funds to sponsor Peter Obi's movement, and God knows I have proofs. I don't have any apology to give to anybody. I went to my boss before now and I told him I'm supporting Peter Obi. Tanko was there, Sarah Ibrahim was there, Dr. Mo was there. I didn't do it in absentia. They all were there when I told Peter Obi what I want to do, and he told me 3 things. He would say, when you get to him, ask him 3 questions. And I have not asked those questions. I have not even sat down with the governor. I just met him on the podium. I have not discussed with him. My future plans is to bring peace to these 2 wonderful Igbo leaders. Recall in the Ariwa, I grew up in the Ariwa. When it's time to talk about Ariwa, everybody keeps party apart. Why do our Igbo leaders fight each other? Why should we continue to live like that? The Nigerian state has to trust the Igbos that they can give us power. If they can't trust us, there's no way they will give us power. Peter Obi and Soludo must talk as one, outside party lines. And this is what I want to achieve. I want to make peace for the Southeastern leaders. And that will be my greatest achievement as the Obedient General. The Obedient General is a general that is a general for all Igbos. Recall, I have experience. I have been the PDP chairman international. I did that successfully under the chairmanship of Chief Audu Ogbe, Dr. Amadu Ali, and as well Chief Obulafo. My experiences from the European Union is vast. I am not someone you can talk about in that light. I have no apologies to give anybody.
All right. Let's bring Justin Kingland into the conversation. I mean, you've heard a lot from Ms. Azumchine, who I presume you've worked with, and he's had quite a lot to say about you and those who disagree with his movement. Your response, please.
Excellent evening, viewers and listeners. Okay, I want to clearly, make just to correct an impression from what Ikenna said. from the way he spoke, obviously you will know that he himself knows that he has goofed. He already know that he went the wrong way. So the impression I want to create before I get into your question is simple, like what he said, that no one knows me in Anambra State. Is a obedient movement. Is very, very laughable. Just want to let you know that a key pioneer of obedient movement today, and a member of the Big Six, and also the director, elected Director General of the Obedient Movement mobilization from onset. So we organized the first 1 million march in 2022. We don't know who is Obedient General. Nobody knows him. We don't know where he was when we started the movement. You see, I conducted the first ever Obedient Movement election that produced the first ever Obedient Movement state coordinator in Anambra State. I personally, as the director of mobilization, conducted that election that produced his boy, the person he is working with right now. I was the one that made him the first ever Anambra State obedient leader. So I wonder, if I'm not known, how can I have that established in the first place? Okay, coming back to exactly what he did, like I said, Ikenna has goofed, and he really goofed. First and foremost, he's always agitating because he's nowhere to be found in the national body of the obedient movement. Like I said, nobody knows him. We don't know who he is before now. He always agitates because he has no room in the space and in the board of the minute of whatever that is happening in the obedient movement, both national and state-wise. He has tried many times to hijack the obedient movement, creating fractions here and there, He is just disobedient. How can you tell me that you are an obedient and you are endorsing someone who is not even in support of your apex leader? Who does that? That doesn't happen. So what he did is a sabotage. He sell out, a total sellout, a total no. We, the obedient body, denounce and debunked whatever movement and whatever he claimed. We don't have any problem with anyone endorsing whoever he wants to endorse. Ikenna, as Mr. Ikenna Azomchi, can go and endorse whoever he wants to endorse, but not in the name of obedient movement. I want to set a very clear example. My very good friend, His Excellency Mr. Valentine Ozigbo, at a time joined APC. And when he joined APC, I endorsed Valiant Movement for him. I endorsed Valiant Movement for him as Justin Kingland and not as obedient person. As a media personnel and spokesperson for obedient movement in the Southeast, and as well PRO spokesman for obedient movement national for Directorate of Mobilization. I have all it takes to use obedient movement body, both national and state, to do whatever I want to do. But because I think properly, I don't reason like Ikenna. I don't think like Ikenna. Right. That's why when I endorse Valiant Movement, I endorse Valiant Movement with my name as Justin Kingland, right, and not as Obedient Movement. Him going to endorse whoever he endorsed in the name of obedient movement is totally wrong and is a totally sellout. And the obedient movement worldwide, both nations, both home and abroad, are not in line with him.
Okay, all right.
We say totally no. We don't agree.
Mr. Justin, if I can just chime in. Some would say your principal, the leader of the obedient movement, Mr. Peter Obi himself, set the stage for what is currently happening right now. In subsequent elections,
it's not true. It's totally not true.
I'm getting to the question. Yeah. During the off-cycle elections, we've seen him endorse political candidates of the ADC, for instance. And the question is, I mean, are you saying that everybody in the obedient movement has to operate with a dogmatic mentality? There's no political freedom in the obedient movement?
Is that, I know that this question will come up. Let me clearly put you on the right part of that question. See, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is part and parcel of the ADC coalition. He also holds an office in the coalition team. So by the time of that rerun, Labour Party has no candidate. There was no candidate for Labour Party. So what he has to do is exactly what he did, and I supported him. He tweeted, because Labour Party doesn't have any candidate and he is part and parcel of the coalition ADC. Him supporting Amambo and as well Mrs. Azuka, the late Azuka wife, is the right thing to do. Because, for example, so after 2025 Anambra Guba, he will make his stand known, because they already said that he is fully member. He is a full member of Labour Party, and at the same time part and parcel of ADC coalition movement. So there is nothing wrong with what he did. He did the right thing. Had he been the Labour Party had a candidate during the time of the rerun, that would have been a different issue. Right. But in Anambra State, Labour Party doesn't have any single candidate. Right. So he has only one option: to support the ADC coalition team candidates. And what he did was really accepted by all of us. The whole obedient movement, we supported him for that move. It's an excellent move. Okay. So whomever that is using it against him should think twice. He should think again.
All right. I mean, if you ask the leadership of the Labour Party, depending on who you believe in, the Julius Abure group will tell you that his disloyalty to the party and his relationship with the coalition itself is something that calls to question his integrity regarding his loyalty to the party. But bringing Mr. Azumchine back into the conversation, the issue raised by
I want to say more in regards. I want to say more with the regards of the issue of Mr. Ikenna on what he said.
I'm going to come back to you.
Just allow me to say more on the issue from all what he has said so far.
Mr. Azumchine, the question is, did you support Professor Charles Soludo as an individual, or are you using the Obedient platform to show support for the governor of Anambra State?
Let me clear this issue once again for the last time. This man speaking here is aware of a man called Chief Oseloko Obaze, the former chief of staff to the former governor of Anambra, His Excellency Peter Obi. He is not supporting Mogalu. He is supporting the ADC candidates. And nobody is talking. He's on the ballot. They have so much put the confusion in the system
that wasn't the question. I think you should go straight to the question.
Can you wait and allow me speak? Can you conduct yourself? Conduct yourself very well, please. So, we are not happy with the confusion in the movement, and we met. Recall that we had a meet and greet in Enugu, where all the obedience in the southeast met. You are unaware of it, Kingland. You were not there.
I was aware.
Hold on,
aware.
Please. I will allow you speak.
I was aware, and it is a plan.
I will allow you speak. You see what I said about you? You are not coordinated. Allow me speak. So, we had a meet and greet in Enugu where we all met and agreed there should be a focus. Until date, there is no focus. Half of the obedient leadership are here, neither here or there. And me as the obedient general, it has always been my job to do the dirty job. I have told my boss that in Anambra, he should allow the obedience to make their decisions. Recall also, as a politician, I am from the Anambra Central. The governor in question today is having his second tenure. After his second tenure, he comes to my region, and I was once a former governorship aspirant. Can any politician tell me why I should leave the European Union for 3 years and support the obedient movement, and at the time where I should come on the table with my boss and other players to decide the future of the movement, and then I see charlatans taking those decisions? Of course I will rebel. Okay. The obedient general will not sit back and allow the movement he worked for to diminish.
Right.
I call the attention of the hierarchy of the obedient movement to do the needful. We need to stand up and correct ourselves now before it's too late.
Okay. Mr. Azumchine, thank you very much for making it brief. Mr. Kingland, you have less than a minute.
Yes.
Less than a minute to respond. We're completely out of time, so please make the most of it.
Okay. You heard him very well. Just confess. He just confessed that he's a rebel, and that's who he is. Enugu State meet and greet he talks about we were not in support of that. We stopped that movement until we brought in our national coordinator, Dr. Tanko, to do something about it. And we agreed on what to do. On the day of the meet and greet, he switched. He always switched. Right now, the major issue right now is this. Like I said earlier, he knows that he goofed. He has no right, I repeat, he has no right to endorse anyone with the name of Obedient Movement. Our apex leader, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, remain the leader of Obedient Movement and the name and the body in which Obedient Movement was formed. And no one, not even Iken Azomji, has the right to use that name to endorse anybody. We don't have any issue with anybody who is endorsing anyone. You can endorse who you want to endorse, with your family, with your friends, with whatever you want, but not with the name of Obedient Movement.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do with that name, Obedient Movement, just know it that there is a body that there is a body that holds Obedient Movement firmly.
Okay.
And that body, if that body doesn't speak, you can speak. And let me correct an impression again.
Unfortunately,
on the issue of Ambassador Oselaka Obaze, he just raised. Ambassador Oselaka Obaze resigned. He promptly resigned from Labour Party and also made it open officially that he's no longer interested in politics. Okay. So he has the right to support whomever he wants to support.
Okay.
Obaze is not a member of Labour Party.
Right.
So I don't know why he's bringing that
Okay.
So it's just a silly excuse.
Unfortunately,
like what I'm saying, we don't have any issue with anyone endorsing anybody, but not with the name of Obidient movement. And that move he made was totally wrong, and we are not in support of it.
There's some sort of
we are not in support of it.
Good day to our viewers all over the world, and welcome back to Local Journal. For me, if P2B is still interested in the presidential election and he still wants to contest in the 2027 presidential election, he should start putting his house in order, because it seems like there's a crack going on in the Obidient movement, and if this crack is not amended, if this crack is not fixed, it will be a problem, because that's the stronghold of his support. These are the people who have been supporting him and who were able to give him the vote he got, the 6 million votes he got in 2023 presidential election, were made possible because of this Obidient. But it seems like there are sabotage in this movement now, who are trying to disorganize, disintegrate this movement and ensure that there is problem and turmoil, there is crack, and the group is not unified as one entity, just like they've always been before 2027 election, because the wave of endorsement some of these people claim under the guise of being an Obidient member for various state election in recent time is appalling. It's not making any sense at all, because if probably maybe there is no crack within the Obidient, I don't think anybody will go out as a key member of the Obidient movement to be endorsing a different party other than their own party. I know Obidient is not a party, however they stand for something. And on the contrary, the man is also saying that the Obidient movement is not just about Labour Party, and the impression that the Obedients are having that the Labour Party supporters are the fulcrum of Obidient, are the forefront and the main Obedience, is not true, and that even them who are also PDP Obidient, ABGA Obidient, are even much more than, contributes more than the numbers of Labour Party Obidient members. So they are trying to correct that impression, and they say they are liberty, since Obidient movement is not a political party, they are liberty to endorse whoever member or whatsoever member or whatsoever candidate that they want to endorse, that their candidate is not party based, that their candidate is based on integrity and based on the person's work rate or the person's antecedent. And that is the reason why one of these Obidient member, who calls himself a very key figure or the Obidient general, is endorsing Charles Chukwuma Soludo, the current incumbent governor of Anambra State, for re-election in the November gubernatorial election. And this is not sitting well with some of the Obidient member, because they see him as an impersonator. They see him as somebody who is trying to create a crack within the Obidient movement. And for P2B, if he wants this whole thing to continue, if he wants to continue to enjoy this fanfare, if he wants to enjoy this support, and he wants the support base to be rigid, he needs to wade in to solve some of this issue, because Charles Chukwuma Soludo, that we know, has already endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for a second term re-election. And if he's endorsing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as against his own person, as against his own kingsman, who is P2B, and somebody who is a P2B supporter, who is self-acclaimed, who has claimed to be a P2B supporter, is going to endorse the Chukwuma, who is endorsing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for re-election as against P2B, then you should know that there is a problem. Then you should know that something is brewing. And if P2B doesn't step in to solve, to fix this problem, then that is where his fall and his support base will begin to crack. And the numbers he has been able to garner in 2023, he shouldn't be dreaming about that if he's not able to fix this elementary problems, this foundational problem, because these are the main people who are there to do the groundwork for him, and he needs to protect that support base if he really wants to come back in 2027 to contest. So for me, it is time for P2B to wake up and wade into this issue and fix this whole problem, fix this issue that the obedient movement are encountering, that they are having, so that it doesn't metamorphose into anything that will cause a disintegration of the movement. He has so far enjoyed their fanfare, he has so far enjoyed their support, and has been able to gather him 6 million votes in the 2023 presidential election. This is my candid opinion. Can you drop what you have to say in the comment section? And if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.